يعني في اوائل القرن الماضي. يعني فهذا الطائر هذا فهو كتعتبر مجموعه اللي هي صغيره جدا، وكان الاهتمام ديال الجمعيه باجل المحافظه، وحنا يعني لنا الشرف اننا مدعمين من طرف الإنسان في اطار البرنامج هذا، وشكرا.
عايشة مشكور. Bonjour Meher. Bonjour Houday.
Bonjour.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous.
Good morning Andrés.
Bonjour, comment ça va? Bien.
Bonjour, très bien. Donc, maybe we are going to speak in English because we have our colleague Mrs. Rania Salih from India. Maybe it's more easier to speak in English to let everyone understand. We are still waiting our colleague from the Association des Amis de Capt. We are waiting for Wi-Fi, so I just call them. They are joining us in 1 or 2 minutes. So I will ask everyone to turn off the microphone. It's better. And we are going to start by introducing ourselves, and then we are going to introduce the nature-based solution used and adopted from the different NGO. And then we are going to let our colleague Andrés Alcantara to present the nature-based solution with the different principles of USAN. And then we are going to discuss the different principles and different methods used by the NGO. Okay, so I think we have the Association Les Amis de Capt. Do you hear me, Amira, Edouard?
Yes. Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Okay.
Sorry for being late because we have an activity today in the mountain, so we were searching for the network.
Okay. Well, thank you. Welcome everyone. I think we are going to start. So if every NGO have like 30 seconds to just introduce itself, the name of the NGO and the project very quickly, please. So maybe we can start with our colleague Ms. Fatma AMMAR from Algeria. The microphone, please. Thank you.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Bon, on va présenter l'association. Nous sommes une association créée à la fin 2013 dans les objectifs, c'est-à-dire les objectifs théouana, c'est la sensibilisation. On sensibilise beaucoup au niveau des écoles, des lycées. Et on fait des campagnes de reboisement, on fait des opérations de nettoyage au niveau des quartiers. On est membre au niveau de la wilaya. On fait partie d'une commission des aires protégées, on est membre. On fait au niveau de la commune, on a élaboré plusieurs dossiers de classement des espèces au niveau de la ville et le classement du jardin botanique. On a proposé pour classer notre jardin botanique, de jardin public en jardin botanique.
Okay.
Et on a fait des partenariats avec le Hamma pour travailler ensemble sur le projet PPI-OSCAN. Et on a aussi fait un partenariat avec l'université d'El Khmis pour que les étudiants viennent travailler au jardin. pour faire leurs recherches plutôt.
Oh, okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Fatma. We will look the details together in few minutes. So maybe who want to present? Mrs. Rania Salih, maybe you can, if you want to add something, or we can ask our colleague Imad Sharkawi to present.
C'est bon, c'est bon.
Okay, so Mrs. Ahmed, do you want to present quickly the NGO? I think maybe there is a problem. Mr. Ahmed Sharkawi? Okay. So Zaccar, maybe do you want to present? Okay.
So hello everyone, my name is Zaccar Algérie. I am an evolutionary ecologist and the scientific assistant of the NGO Exploralis in Tunisia, who is working now on the conservation and studying of the wetland of Bishouk, Beja, and near the ecosystem of Wed Majida. So I don't know if I need to say any more details.
For the moment, it's enough. We are going to, yeah, okay. So maybe Amira, if you want to present quickly the NGO.
Hello, so Amira Sansa from Tunisia. I'm working with Les Amis de Cap Tunisie, Friends of Cap of Tunisia, and I'm the project coordinator. I manage now the environmental corridors around Wedtin. And with me, my colleague.
Hello everyone, I'm Edouard Jean, the director of the association CAPT, and our association's goal is to promoting agroforestry practices.
Thank you very well, Edward and Amira. So, Mr. Imad Sharkawi, if you want to present. I will write.
I think he is not.
Yes, he's not connected. And I think we lost also Mrs. Fatma.
Hello?
Ah, oui.
Ah, bonjour.
The network here is where I am is not very good, so I'm trying to keep myself connected with you.
Okay.
So apologize for this. So my name is Imad Sharkawi. By profession, I am a professor at university. I'm mainly teaching the conservation biology, but also I am chairing the Nature Solutions Association, which is a young born association created in 2017, which objectives is the conservation of. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, because
yes.
I can't. Okay, sorry. I tried to turn on my video, but for some reason it does not work in. Can you see me or just?
We are not seeing you, but we hear you very well.
Okay, sorry about that. I tried to turn on the video, but it's not working for some reason. Sorry for that. So I said that I'm chairing the Nature Solutions Association that was created in 2017. So which is a young born association, and which objective is the conservation of Morocco's natural heritage by implementing solution-based, the nature-based solutions on allowing the resilience of ecosystems and I mean involvement of the local population, in face of the climate change and other threats of that are threatening our biodiversity. So we are also working on the rehabilitation of natural environments and the protection of wildlife and protections of habitats, but also the development of solutions in terms of for nature for saving natural resources by also implementing sustainable practice for the use of water and energy and other resources. So this is I mean, briefly what we are doing in our association.
Okay, thank you very well, Mr. Sharkawi. Just a detail, I think we've lost the Green Association from Libya, so I don't know if we. I think someone just joined us, Mr. Awisa Salak. Could you please present yourself?
عويسة سالك رئيس شبكة جمعية خنيفيس تشتغل في المنطقة الرطبة خنيفيس بالمنتزه الوطني خنيفيس الجنوب المغربي. شكرا.
Thank you. You are welcome. So as I say, I think we lost our colleague from جمعية الخضراء, Green Association from Libya. So maybe if you want, we can continue presenting in French. If you are okay, maybe you can raise your hand if you want to continue speaking in French.
I can see that Ms. Rania Saleh is still connected. So I don't know if she's hearing us, if she can just manifest.
I didn't see her.
Ms. Rania Saleh from Libya, can you hear us? Because on my board I can see that she is connected, that's why.
Ah, okay. But I don't know if... Okay, anyway, so let's start. I think we are going to allow everyone 5 minutes to present the nature-based solution used and adopted in their project. So we are going to start with our colleague from Algeria. So if you want to detail us, what are the nature-based solutions that you use in your project? Thank you. So Mrs. Fatma AMMAR, you can maybe explain to us how, what are the main nature-based solutions?
Bon, on a le projet, notre projet a 3 objectifs. On a en premier la restauration du bassin et des canaux d'irrigation. Parce que dans le jardin, il n'y a pas un réseau d'irrigation. Et deuxièmement, on a la préservation du séquoia. On doit le préserver et les espèces qu'il contient. C'est un jardin botanique qui contient beaucoup d'espèces rares et nobles qu'on veut préserver. À l'instar de l'hamma, parce que on a ramené l'équipe d'Al-Hamma pour nous faire un inventaire végétal et un diagnostic phytosanitaire. Et troisièmement, on a la sensibilisation et la promotion du jardin. On fait beaucoup d'ateliers pour sensibiliser et initier les enfants à l'environnement. Ces 3 objectifs, on a choisi le jardin qui présente un grand intérêt local car il préserve la biodiversité urbaine. Il constitue le poumon de la ville, c'est le seul d'envergure régionale. Et on a réalisé une pépinière pour multiplier les espèces du jardin, avec une serre, bien sûr. Et on a fait deux dossiers. On a fait un dossier pour classer les espèces de la ville, plutôt les espaces verts de la ville. On a fait déjà un dossier pour les classer. Et un dossier pour le classement du jardin public en jardin botanique. Il est au niveau du ministère, parce que c'est un patrimoine national qu'on veut préserver. C'est tout.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if your colleague want to add something.
Ça va, c'est bon pour le moment.
Okay, thank you very much. So, if Mr. Imad Sharkawi want to present. So, what are the main nature-based solutions you use in your project? If you want to explain for us, yes.
I have prepared a short presentation in French.
Okay.
I didn't expect that we will speak mainly in French, in English, but in the framework of our project, saving the great bustard from the extinction in Morocco. So first of all, this is a species that is listed as in the IUCN Red List, in the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List, as vulnerable species, because it undergoes, you know, a decline since the 20th mid-century, and until now we have only 70 birds that are left in the nature, in the wild. And I mean, we are trying to first implement, let's say, a regular monitoring of the remaining population. Try also to study the habitats in order to make a first checklist of all the traits that are really and impacting and affecting this vulnerable population. And we first of all, we have recruited, we have enrolled 2 wardens from the local populations, from the human population living in the nearby the habitats that are considered as key habitats for this species survival. And 2 of them now have been trained for the good monitoring, but also for surveillance and for controlling the habitat from all the threats, mainly from poaching and from feral dogs that represent one of the main threats of this declining population. So we have succeeded so far to enroll those wardens, but in the same times, the Department of the Forest has also recruited other wardens to try to control all the distribution range of this species, which is mainly living in a mosaic of habitats composed of agrosystems. So it's somehow benefiting from the presence of several types of crops that are grown by farmers around. And we are also trying to bring all together hunters, but also farmers and schools, in order to raise awareness, but also to find the best solutions to make this bird as iconic as possible for the whole regions. And this is the most important thing, is to really try to encore the protection of this bird by the local population, not only by the managers and by the NGO, we have succeeded now to have as the first results all those types of population being all together, you know, sitting in the same table and trying to make brainstorming on what is the best solutions to really protect this bird. And we have also now initiated a sort of a strategy of ecotourism, a local ecotourism strategy to make the observation of this species one of the pillars of the tourism in the area. So we are working on that because in the neighbor country, in the northern neighbor country, Spain, there is several experiences where you know, the little bastard, but also the great bastards have benefited from tourism, you know, to raise funds for their conservation, but also for the valorization of the species in the framework of ecotourism strategy and bird watching strategy. So we are trying to do similar activities in order to put value on the observation of these species in our area. So the other aspects of our work is try to mitigate the impacts of power lines and other transport infrastructures like the high-speed train on the Moroccan population of great bastards, because we have after now almost 1.5 years of monitoring the species, we have only noticed one female that has been electrocuted due to the nearby power lines, and we are now in discussion with the electricity authorities to find the best solutions to mitigate the impact of these large-bodied birds, because I mean it is a very big threat for the population. It's already declining. So we are trying to implement these kind of activities, but also we have been discussing with other NGOs, Moroccan NGOs, but also Spanish NGOs, to see how we can benefit from their experience, what kinds of lessons can be implemented in our case, so we can try to, of course, mitigate the impact of power lines and collision on this tiny population of great bastard. So after 1 year and almost half, we have at least a regular program of monitoring the species, which is very important because it allowed us to understand better what are the habitat requirements of the birds, where the birds are moving daily, you know, from the feeding area to the roosting area. So we understood where those kinds of areas occurs in all the distribution range, which is another important aspect that allow us to understand better, you know, the patterns of movement of these vulnerable species that was almost unknown until now. And also we have made this bird, let's say, as an iconic species that now, you know, through those wardens that we have recruited from the local population, they also trying to spread out messages about how we can protect better this bird, and to get this bird more respected and more protected by the human population themselves. So this is another activities that we succeed to. Of course, there is much more work to do and to implement in the future, and this is for us very important, because this is the only population in the entire African continent, and from the biogeographical aspect, this is very important to keep these genetically this population safe and protected. So this is just a
Thank you.
what we are doing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sherkawi. Just I want you to translate for us اسم l'oiseau, le nom français.
Le nom français c'est la grande outarde بالعربية الحبارة الملتحية.
OK.
الحبارة الكبيرة.
Ok, الحبارة الكبيرة. Rapidement, je vais un peu traduire. Donc, la grande outarde, comme a expliqué notre collègue Imed, elle figure parmi les espèces vulnérables. Donc, elle figure sur la liste rouge de l'UICN. Dans le cadre de leur projet, donc, ils essayent de protéger cette espèce donc, qui est assez vulnérable à travers notamment l'identification de l'espèce, identifier son comportement, faire une sorte d'observation en continu, identifier les risques exposés pour cette espèce-là, comme par exemple l'électrocution par les câbles, les grands câbles électriques, aussi les risques d'accidents avec d'autres objets, que ce soit des objets volants ou autres câbles. Ils ont essayé aussi de sensibiliser la population pour qu'ils soient impliqués dans ce processus de protection de l'espèce. Aussi de travailler avec le secteur touristique, d'inviter tous les partenaires publics, notamment aussi les partenaires privés comme les associations, pour qu'ils travaillent de plus en plus à protéger cette espèce qui est endémique au final. Donc, voilà de manière très brève de quoi il s'agit. So for the next presentation, I want you to focus on the nature-based solution you use and not to present all the project. So please try to focus on the nature-based solution you use in your project. So for the next presentation, I want to invite Mrs. Abir Al-Jazawi from Libya.
السلام عليكم عبير جازوي. السلام عليكم.
السلام عليكم. And Mrs. Rania, maybe you can both present together. Thank you.
أنا إنجليزي ما أعرف عن نفسي.
Okay.
عبير جازوي، منظمة الحياة حماية الكائنات البرية والبحرية ليبيا، رئيس الجمعية الأنشطة البيئية في ليبيا، مستفيدة من برنامج المبادرات الصغيرة PPI-OSCAN في شمال أفريقيا.
Could you please speak in English, because our colleague from Malaga do not understand Arabic, if it's possible.
ثانية لو سمحتي.
Thank you.
أستاذة فاطمة.
We don't hear you anymore. If you hear us, so please. Hello.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم السلام.
عليكم السلام. مرحبا.
You want my presentation by English or by Arabic?
English, if possible.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Mrs. Abir, she prepared the presentation, but by Arabic language. But it doesn't matter. We can sharing our photo together. I think the photo will be explain the idea for our association. We mean Green Association. So that's why we have some. You put us at a critical position now, lacking no problem. We will share.
Okay, just Mr. I will ask you to do not present the association, but just to focus on the nature-based solution as I ask you, because it's today the topic of our webinar. So please try to describe and to explain to us what are the main nature-based solution you use in the framework of your project. Thank you.
Okay, I know as well. Okay. I will sharing my presentation now.
Okay. Huda, maybe I don't know if you
It's
have.
possible, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you
thank
can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, could you please give me? Okay.
You have the access. You have the access. It's open.
Yeah.
You can.
Yes, I need to open my presentation now.
Yes.
Okay, can you see my presentation now?
No, we see just the black board.
Okay, I try again.
Okay.
I'm sorry for that.
No,
but
it's okay.
yeah, nobody tell us your presentation by English language, so it's by chance, coming by chance.
We still can't see.
The same black.
Exactly the same blackboard we can see.
Huda, perhaps they can show the presentation in Arabic and you can later to translate in English or French a summary.
Yes. What about now?
Still, we don't see it. Maybe it's a technical problem with the.
Yeah.
If it's not showing, if you just can give us an idea, and if you have some, like in English, if you can, if you have some difficulty.
Yeah.
Or maybe.
I'm sorry about that. Yes, I'm sorry about that. Okay.
Or just you can maybe send to me or to Huda the presentation, and we can try to share it from our side.
I try to do my best now.
Okay, but otherwise you can send us by email your presentation, and we will try to share it from our side if you want.
Yeah, I will do it now. Yes.
Yeah, maybe it's better because still we.
Okay, Miss Huda.
Yes, I will.
Can you please give me your mail? Okay.
Yes, I will send it in the chat room.
Okay. And if there is some space time, you can give my word to other person.
Okay.
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 Don't
So,
like to waste time.
Okay, so just to do not lose time, maybe we can ask the next association to present.
And if you can, please stop sharing your your screen with us. Thank you.
So I can invite Mr. Zaccar Algérie to present.
Okay, it's clear now?
Yes, it's okay.
It's okay, yes.
So Mr. Awisa, if you want to present, do you hear us? I don't know if... No, okay, so do not lose time on the time. So Zaccar, if you want to present the main nature-based solution.
I prepared the presentation in English and French.
So if you want to share it.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it, but if you want me to start with the French or do both, I don't know, just let me know what language you prefer.
English, and then for the report we will insert both presentation.
All right, so you are now can see my screen.
Yes, yes.
So today I want to talk about Exploraris approach in its project MEDEX in Wedmajorda, Bishuk, Beja. In fact, Exploraris consider the wetland itself as a large-scale nature-based solution. Wetlands are complex ecological systems that integrate physical, biological, and chemical processes and provide multiple ecosystem services. In fact, the global value of wetland ecosystem services estimated to 26.4 billion US dollar by year, and still estimated at over 20% of the total value of ecosystem services globally, exceeding even the contribution of terrestrial forests and coral reefs. However, urbanization, industrialization, and the expansion of agriculture have threatened natural wetlands in all regions around the world. Thus, restoration of degraded wetlands is needed, whether to reach a fully or partial functionality. Just to mention few ecosystem services that wetlands can provide, we can find the carbon sequestration by limiting the carbon in the atmosphere and stock it with a stockage capability in the peat and the soil of this wetland, protecting the good water quality by filtrating the nitrates and the phosphates coming from agriculture and industrial activities, the coastal protection and the role that wetlands play in protecting cities and the implementation from natural disasters, and the regulation of groundwater level and moisture. We can find also the flood regulation through a capability of limiting and reducing the rain and the rain range and the water quantity in the rain, and protecting cities and implementation in the river of these wetlands. Also, it is a good support for biodiversity and by creating a unique ecosystem, especially for migratory birds, and creating nurseries for aquatic species of fish and eels and other fauna and flora associated that play an important role in the equilibrium of our nature. So the role of explorers is to study, provide, protect, and promote this unique ecosystems that not only benefit for the environment, but also for local population, and has an important cultural, economic, and social background to this population. So explorers act on multiple axes, but just to mention the most important one, we do the monitoring and studying of biodiversity through quantitative and qualitative methods. These methods allow us to have an overview on the peuplement and the population of species that live in these wetlands, and give us insight over the years on their evolution and the evolution of this population. And also we do water quality monitoring via sampling on the column of water on multiple locality of wetland that can be influenced via industrialization or agricultural activities. All these activities and the result can be a good arguments for advocacy to help implementation, good measurement to protect and promote these wetlands. So this is it. If you want me to repeat it in French, I don't know, let me know.
Okay, thank you very much, Zaccar. Maybe for time reason, we can't translate all the presentation, but for the report, I'll send you the report with the different annex, including the presentation in both French and English. So, right. Voilà, donc globalement, il a présenté la zone humide dans la région de Béja, de Wedmejda d'ailleurs, qui est une rivière transfrontalière avec l'Algérie. Donc, l'association Exploralis, elle considère que cette zone humide en elle-même, c'est une solution basée sur la nature, puisqu'elle Donc, elle offre plusieurs services comme la régularisation du carbone, comme la régularisation des inondations et aussi pour la capture de l'eau et pour la réalimentation des nappes phréatiques en eau. Mis à part, bien sûr, toute la faune et la flore qui se trouvent tout autour, d'où l'observatoire qu'ils ont installé. Et ils estiment que ce patrimoine-là, il est en danger, notamment à cause de plusieurs facteurs comme les changements climatiques, aussi par rapport à la pollution, puisqu'ils font des prélèvements sur des colonnes d'eau pour voir justement la qualité de l'eau. Voilà globalement, donc je ne peux pas rentrer plus dans les détails. J'aimerais bien passer la parole. I want to let us our colleague from Morocco to present. So Mr. Awissa Salah, if you are ready or if you hear us.
نعم حكمت.
مرحبا. Okay. If you are ready, if you want to present quickly, you have 5 minutes to focus on the nature-based solution you use in your project.
نعم. اسمحي لي حكمة، أنا سأتحدث العربية.
Okay.
أظن عندك ستجدين الوقت للترجمة للإخوة.
Okay, I'll do my best.
مشروع مدعم من طرف برنامج المنح الصغرى لمنظمات المجتمع المدني في شمال افريقيا PPI-OSCAN. مشروع يعتمد السياحة البيئية كحل من بين الحلول المرتكزة على الطبيعة، وبتحفيز الساكن المحلي المشاركة بالمعرفة المحلية القديمة المتوارثة. وهذه الطريقة وهذه العملية ستساهم في تعزيز المحافظة على التنوع الحيوي، وكذلك المحافظة على التنمية السوسيو اقتصادية للساكنة المحلية، بمعنى نجد ربح للساكنة المحلية وربح للمحافظة وحماية الطبيعة. كما تعلمين أن المواقع الرطبة مميزة عالميا، ولكن الميزة التي تتميز بها هذه المنطقة الرطبة بالجنوب المغربي في منطقة قاحلة، في منطقة بعيدة شيئا ما عن الحركة الاقتصادية، بعيدة شيئا ما عن التأثيرات الخارجية المرتبطة طبعا بالحركة الاقتصادية. وجدنا أن الحل الذي يمكن أن ينمي المنطقة ويعرف بها هي السياحة المرتكزة على مشاهدة الطبيعة ومشاهدة الحياة البرية، باعتماد السياحة البيئية المرتكزة على مشاهدة الطيور، وخاصة أن الموقع الذي نشتغل فيه يتواجد على مسار هجرة نادر على المحيط الأطلسي الغربي لإفريقيا، وبالتالي هو مدار ومسلك جد مهم. وتعتبر هذه المنطقة التي نشتغل عليها اللي هي منطقة خنيفيس أو المنطقة الرطبة خنيفيس اللي مسجلة ضمن لائحة رمسار موقع لاستراحة تلك الطيور. وحقيقة التمتع بتلك اللحظات لمشاهدة هذه الطيور، هذه الكائنات التي تجمع عالمنا، جد مهمة فيما يتعلق بالتنمية اقتصادية واجتماعية لساكنة المنطقة، والتعريف بالمنطقة وجعلها جذب سياحي، ولكن بميزة أخرى، ليست ذلك الجذب السياحي المعتمد على الضغط، ولكن جذب سياحي معتمد على التنظيم، معتمد على ساكنة محلية هي التي تشرف على جميع الأنشطة المرتبطة بهذا النوع من السياحة، سواء الاستقبال وسواء المشاهدة. هذا هو بصفة عامة فكرة المشروع. والمشروع حاز الحمد لله على مجموعة من الدعم فيما يتعلق بمساهمات وطنية، فيما يتعلق بمساهمات معنوية دولية، كيف مبادرة إنيسياتيف إكواتور اللي دمجت المشروع ديالنا من الحلول المعتمدة على الطبيعة. كذلك أن المشروع ديالنا له بعد جهوي وبعد محلي في إطار تعزيز واحد التنمية اللي هي مرتكزة على الطبيعة والاستدامة. هذه من بين لنا كذلك إنتاجات موازية للتعريف بالموقع، سواء على الجانب الساحلي التي تتواجد عليه المنطقة الرطبة وما تزخر به من مؤهلات، والجانب المناطق الخلفية كربط ما بين واحد المنظومات بيئية اللي هي ساحلة تتميز بتأثيرات المحيط، والمناطق الخلفية التي هي قاحلة والتي هي تعتبر حضارة القاحلة، الحضارة القاحلة، ولكن ليست جردها بل تتميز كذلك بتنوعها لإحياء حقيقة الزاخر. ونحن في خدم هذا التطوير ديال هذا النوع من السياحة اللي هو له خصوصية مجالية وخصوصية إنسانية وخصوصية طبيعية. سنعزز هذه الحلول المرتكزة على الطبيعة للمحافظة وحماية التنوع الحيوي. وشكرا للأخت حكمة على إتاحة لها الفرصة لإثراء هذا النقاش المتعلق بالسياحة البيئية. السياحة البيئية أؤكد لك أنها لا توجد لها وصفة عالمية، بل وصفة إقليمية ووصفة محلية ووصفة جهوية، ونحن إن شاء الله ضمن الوصفات اللي تعزز هذا تطوير هذه السياحة البيئية على المستوى الإقليمي والمستوى الوطني. وشكرا جزيلا.
اوكي، مشكور جدا سي عويسة سالق. So I'll try to translate what he's saying, that the project is based on the ecotourism activities, especially in the observation of migrated birds in the area of Khnifis, which is classified as Ramsar site because it's a corridor for the migration. And the target is to include the local community in the approach of sustainable development. And the local community contributes in the welcoming of the tourists and also to suggest and to share also their local knowledge and about this kind of birds. So this is globally what are the approach and the nature-based solution for the observation of these birds. I don't know if the Libyan NGO is ready, the Green Association. Are you ready to share the presentation? Huday, do you receive the mail from?
Yes. Just give me just a second, okay, to prepare the last slide.
Okay.
Maybe I will sharing by English language. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I will suggest, if you don't mind, Hikma, that if you want to do it in Arabic, it's no problem because we can do the translation. I did it also for my colleague Andrés on the chat room. So if you are more, it's easier for you. In Arabic, you go ahead and we will find a solution to translate to our colleagues. So it's no problem. I received your presentation. So can I show your presentation?
Mr.
Okay,
Joseph.
okay. Maybe I will sharing now by myself.
Okay, try, because I received it on your email.
I made some translate. I don't know if you can see my presentation now.
No,
It's the
still
same
not.
problem. Yeah, same problem.
So maybe Huda, you can
Yes,
share.
I will try to share.
presentation.
If you don't mind, I can share yours. جمعية الخضراء للأنشطة البيئية. This one.
Okay.
Okay. So please stop sharing your screen. I will now share you.
Okay, I stop sharing now.
Okay, you stop sharing. I will share this one. Share. Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's clear enough.
Okay. تفضل.
Okay. Yes, we are the Green Association for Environmental Education in Libya. We are so proud to be one of your family. I mean, PPI-OSCAN family. Actually, we are suffering. If you don't mind, Huda, can you go to the other slide?
Just a second.
Okay, that's wrote by Arabic language, but I will translate as I can. We suffering from less of environmental awareness level, especially for early education and also for the other stage of education. Also, we have many idea to increase the environmental education and awareness to rise the level of environmental education for the children or the small kids, especially from the preparatory school and something like that. Okay, we had a support by PPI-OSCAN too, by made many things like field visitors, for example, and workshop, and also by lectures. That's give or that's deliver the information by easy way for the children. Could you please go for the other slide? Okay. Okay, this photo, it's described visiting for some teachers to increase education or environmental education to help us, because we are in a city in Darna, in the Western part of Libya. So we give more information, more environmental information for those teachers to give it for other students. Maybe we don't have any big time to describe everything about environment, but we invite those teachers for Al-Haya protected area to show them many information about that. For example, we have some example about plants with that's called manjarov, if you know, I don't know, manjarov plants. Actually, this kind of plant we didn't have in Libya, and we didn't see it even by chance. So we give other example like Jupiter plant. Yani, we are in Libya. We didn't have a big examples for I mean plants. Okay, could you please go for the other slide if you don't mind?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. This one, we increased also awareness inside the school by made some trying to give real information about Libyan natural, and also give them many information about about environmental awareness and environmental education for those students. The other slide. The other slide, please. Yes. This is a photo. It's described beach cleaning by camping to ensure turtles nesting. We are working. We are made a cooperation between our association and Al-Haya organization to protect wildlife and organisms, and made some activity together, like try to protect sea turtles, we have just one type. We call it karita karita or السلحفاة ضخمة الرأس. We try to clean that beach. It's by the way, it's nearby Darna city. That's kind of turtle is suffering from eating some plastic, eating some. We have pollution, plastic pollution. So we try to protect them by cleaning and do some workshop inside that beach. Go to the other slide, if you please. Yes. Okay. This is a photo. It's by the way, it's a visit to elementary school. Students to introduce for the biodiversity and give them more information about what kind of biodiversity we have inside, especially in Libya. We didn't have big forest. We didn't have much animal and much birds. We are suffering after our revolution because there is many people try to smuggling many kind of animals like we have one turtles, we call it Egyptian turtles or Tostidi Klomani. It's nearby extinction. We give them many information about this kind of turtles because they didn't. This kind of turtles, it's mean endemic, just in Libya. So we give them many information about what we have, what kind of biodiversity we have in Libya. Other slide. I think the last one. Yes. Introducing the importance of wetlands, especially the immigration birds. Especially nowadays, we try to record the number of this kind of birds, but we give the students more space to know what is that mean wetland for us. We try to make a cooperation with Omar Al-Mukhtar University to make real research by the students and who interest for the wetlands information. So we try to increase the environmental education for that kids, for the students, especially in the early education and also the other stage. I think this is the last one. Yes, we have last slide, if you please. Yes. Definition of vegetation cover in cooperation with the life organization. As I said before, we have a big cooperation between our association and Al Haya organization. We work together because we are in the same area, in the same city. We try to give them many information about vegetation cover, especially in Libya, and especially in the Wadi Naga Valley, Naga Valley. It's a region nearby Darna city. It's rich by vegetation cover. We try to describe what kind of plants we have, what kind of vegetation covers we have. So we will give them many information about that to start to build the environmental education, especially for that students. And the last one, if you please. Thank you for your attention. And I'm so sorry because I didn't prepare my presentation as well. So I made it, very fast. So I'm so sorry to waste your time. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much for the presentation. There is no need to apologize. Just to detail, Al Haya is also an NGO beneficiary from the PPI-OSCAN. So we come to our last presentation. Les amis de CAPT, if you are ready.
Yes, good morning, Hikma. I hope that you are hearing my voice clearly because I'm in the countryside.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we have an activity with farmers, that's why. So our project, I will try to be quick. So environmental corridors around Wedetin, it's our project with PPI-OSCAN 2, and it has many activities which could be considered as natural-based solution. Well, the first one is the corridor, or the natural passage, which aim to sequestrate carbon and to create biodiversity. Thanks to the combination between many species, many native species of trees, I mean forest and fruit trees, that we plant in farm. So the second MBS is the mite or the maslan. So it's a mix of crops composed from cereal and legume seeds, and it's a good alimentation for animals. And from another side, it preserves soil and donc it protected from degradation, enriched by nitrogen fixation. Sorry. The third activity is the mulching. So we use the mulching by the waste of paper and waste of trees, or even waste of crops. So it maintains humidity around the tree roots, so that reduce the water evaporation. And in the same context, so we have another technique to save water. It's the installation of irrigation jars. It's some clay-made container that we bunny under the tree, and we fill it up with water. So it sweet this water underground to maintain humidity for the tree roots, and that reduce the irrigation and save water and money for the farmer. Finally, the activity it's a new one, and it's very important. That Edouard will try to explain it, the FMNR.
Yes, good morning, everybody. The FMNR signification is Farmer Managed Natural Regeneration. Is the fifth legs of our approach on the fields. It consists in promotion the trees that are already existing in the field. But the three principal are survey the land and select the right species to be regenerated, and make the different action of pruning. And when pruning is not possible, is select five of the best stems and cut the rest, and follow up the plantation. Is instead of planting trees and make activity of nursery and transplantation and irrigation, and it's consider that natural ecosystem give up some trees that we have just to protect. Then it's a nature-based solution that we want to adopt.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for this brief and very rich presentation. Donc, pour résumer et pour traduire rapidement de quoi il s'agit, donc les amis de CAPT, dans le cadre du projet corridors environnementaux, ils ont différentes solutions basées sur la nature, en se focalisant sur la promotion de corridors environnementaux naturels, c'est-à-dire des passages naturels pour fixer le carbone, pour aussi revitaliser le seuil. Et pour cela, ils utilisent par exemple la culture du mété, qui est un mélange de plusieurs semences qui est aussi bon pour les animaux. Il préserve le sol, il fixe aussi le sol contre la dégradation et contre l'érosion. Aussi, ils utilisent des méthodes d'empaillage pour les arbres fruitiers en se basant sur des déchets de papier non traités. Donc, ce qui constitue un peu cela donc, contribue à éviter justement les déchets et de les recycler en quelque sorte dans le domaine agricole. Ils utilisent aussi comme solution basée sur la nature la plantation des jarres comme méthode d'irrigation pour éviter l'évaporation et optimiser au maximum donc l'irrigation des arbres pour les agriculteurs. Enfin, donc si j'ai bien compris, je ne sais pas si c'est en français, c'est pareil. Donc, éphéménard, c'est une méthode aussi qui constitue à promouvoir un peu l'écosystème existant de la faune, de la flore existante, pardon, en essayant de promouvoir le maximum d'arbres existants afin de réhabiliter un peu l'écosystème existant.
Oui, tout à fait, c'est exactement ça. C'est une approche basée sur l'approche communautaire et qui incite les agriculteurs à préserver l'existant plutôt que de… Ouais, c'est une approche complémentaire des autres activités, exactement. Merci beaucoup.
Voilà, pour ne pas introduire de nouvelles espèces. Donc, on identifie ce qui est existant et on essaie de le promouvoir. Okay, so thank you very much for all this presentation. And now I want you, Mr. Andrés Alcantara. We are very pleased to meet you and to have you among us. So please, you can introduce yourself and then present the nature-based solution as seen and concepted by the USAN. Thank you.
Salam alaikum, merci beaucoup. C'est un plaisir pour moi de faire la présentation et de faire la présentation dans le webinaire des solutions fondées sur la nature dans l'atelier, le webinaire de PPI-OSCAN. Bon, la première chose que je veux faire, ou je veux discuter ou faire la discussion avec vous, c'est la différence entre les solutions fondées sur la nature, les solutions dérivées de la nature et les solutions inspirées par la nature. Sont très concepts.
Andrés, juste, excuse-moi, si c'est possible de le faire en anglais et comme ça, on peut traduire, s'il y a quelqu'un qui n'arrive pas à comprendre, on peut le faire en français. Parce que si on le fait en français, les collègues libyens, ils ne peuvent pas suivre, s'il te plaît.
Ah, d'accord, d'accord. Well, I will try to explain first the difference between nature-based solutions, solutions from nature and solutions inspired in nature. Well, when we are talking about nature-based solutions, the key points is the force of the ecosystem is the key point of nature-based solutions. So when we are talking about nature-based solutions, we are talking about the function of ecosystem. When we are talking about solutions from nature, for example, we are talking about the energy from aeolic energy or solar energy, for example. And when we are talking about solutions inspired dans la nature, we are talking about, for example, the biomimetism. So that is the big difference between nature-based solution from nature and solution inspired par la nature. So we are talking today about nature-based solutions. So we are talking about ecosystems function. That is one key issue. Well, when we are talking about nature-based solutions, we are talking about three items very, very important. The first one is the management, the second one is the protection, and the third one is restoration. So when we are talking about nature-based solutions, we are talking about management, we are talking about protections, and we are talking about restoration. And of course, about the key issue is the ecosystems. And so we are talking about 7 different key issues for the nature-based solutions. These 7 key issues are climate change, the reduction of the natural risk, the development of social economic development, the third one. The fourth is the health. The fifth is the security alimentaire. 6 is the security of the law. And the 7 is the degradation of environment and to preserve the biodiversity in the area. So that are the seven key issues for nature-based solutions. And don't forget that when we are talking about nature-based solutions, we are talking about the bien entre humains. So we are talking about the well-being, and we are talking about the benefits for biodiversity. That is the two key points for the nature-based solutions. Well, when with these ideas and these 7 points, the question is why we need a standard of nature-based solutions in the world. Why we use a standard for nature-based solution? Well, the key point is to integrate the politic and the adoption of the activities sur le terrain, so on the front, because it's very important to establish this relationship between politic and solutions sur le terrain. What is the role of the standard? The role of the standard, es que ya fue la presentación en francés, ya pensaba en francés, esa es la razón por la que, bon, le rôle de standard. Bueno, le standard doté sur l'utilisateur d'un cadre rigoureux de conception et leur permet de vérifier qu'ils produisent les effets sur résolvant en plusieurs enjeux de société. Bon, le standard contrat conçu de manière à aider les utilisateurs à mettre en œuvre et permet également de définir une approche cohérente pour concevoir et vérifier les résultats concrets basés sur les solutions. Pourtant, so we need the role of standard because the standard is necessary to clarify the actions that we call nature-based solutions. When we are talking about projects that they are developing or you are working in your area, for example, many of the projects that you were talking today about the PPI-OSCAN, you are working in an area. This area, so it's important that we are talking about the standard because first, we need to obtain results for the donors and for the parties that we are working. So this standard is very useful because we can talk with donors and other partners that we are talking about the same language, the same concepts of nature-based solutions. The second one is that we can identify the problems or the issues that we can work to solve another problems that we can find in the role of this project for nature-based solution. And the third one is to establish the same language between the different partners and the different actors for that they are working in the projects. So it's very important, this standard, because we work with the same language, we talk with the partners in the same language, and of course we can discuss with donors that we are talking in the same concepts and ideas. Well, the standard of nature-based solutions, we are talking about 8 criteria and 28 indicators. Well, I have here the main 8 criteria and the 28 indicator. I will show very briefly, but I think it's very important. Les critères 1, c'est les solutions fondées sur la nature répondent efficacement à des défis de la société. C'est une question très, très importante. So, it's very important that when we are talking about nature-based solutions, we identify key issues for the society where we are working. That is one important point. The second one, le critère 2, c'est la conception d'une solution fondée sur la nature et en question d'échelle. It's important that this second criteria is that we are talking about big or small projects, but that it's important that this project is identified in the area that we are working with the vision. Don't forget the vision of ecosystem. That is the key issue, ecosystem. The third one, le critère numéro 3, est les solutions fondées sur la nature procurent des avantages nets à la biodiversité, à l'intégrité d'écosystème. Aujourd'hui, today we had shown different projects here that they are working with biodiversity, and many of them you are integrated the idea of ecosystems in your project. That is an excellent idea, an excellent project. Les critères numéro 4, les solutions fondées sur la nature sont économiquement viables. That is an important idea. That's the economy of the project. When we are talking about that the project has a cost, or we are talking about economy, it's important that they are viable. They are économiquement viables. That's an important idea. Le critère numéro 5, les solutions fondées sur la nature, répondent sur des processus de gouvernance inclusifs, transparents et habilitants. So we are talking about process that they have governance in their projects. Today, you have talked a lot about governance in your project. That is excellent, because when we are talking about nature-based solutions, we are talking that we have governance process in the projects. Le critère numéro 6, les solutions fondées sur la nature, trouver un juste équilibre entre la réalisation de l'objectif principal ou principaux et la prestation continue d'avantages multiples. It's very important that we find l'équilibre entre les objectifs et les avantages multiples. Les critères 7, les solutions fondées sur la nature, sont gérées de façon adaptative sur la base de données probantes. La façon adaptative, la vision adaptative, c'est très, très important pour les solutions basées sur la nature. Et le dernier, le critère 8, les solutions fondées sur la nature sont durables et inscrites dans un contexte de compétences appropriées. C'est très important que nous avons un contexte politique et de compétences, par exemple des compétences de la ville ou des compétences du gouvernement national qui sont appropriées pour les projets. It's important that we have the relationship with the local government or the national government to establish the context to work in the project of nature-based solutions. You have here these ideas in a figure. Well, you have here the 7 key issues that I have told before: the conception of the scale, the biodiversity, the economy, the concept of inclusive, the equilibrium of the compromise, the management, integration, and you have here these ideas in this figure. And don't forget one important issue, that when we are talking about nature-based solutions, we must include the idea of objective of development durable. So we are talking about United Nations. We are talking about how our project of nature-based solution has the link with the United Nations objective development durable. It's very important to link with this concept for the future of our project and the future for donors that we are talking about nature-based solutions, and our project link with a global vision at national level. Many of the countries in North Africa, they are working in this objective development durable, and many countries are working together with United Nations to develop this 17 objective development durable. Well, and the question is, who could use the standard of nature-based solution? Well, you have here different organizations, institutions that they can work with the standard. And one key issue for you today is that the NGOs that they are working, they are member of PPI-OSCAN, they could work and they must work with the standard of nature-based solution. And one important issue is that when we are talking about nature-based solutions, we are talking that projects that they are in the nature, they are in natural area, in protected areas, but we are talking about projects that they can't be in cities. For example, today we have the first example that you explained today. They are working in botanical garden in the city. So it's an excellent example that they are working in city for nature-based solutions. So that's one key issue. Well, very briefly, you have here the criteria and the indicators. We have 28 indicators that we must take account when we are talking about nature-based solutions. You will have the presentation. I don't want to focalize now in these indicators. I don't want to focalize in this indicator, but you have here indicators, 3 indicators for the first, another 3 indicators for the second, another indicators for each priorities. You have different indicators that you can check if your project is a nature-based solutions. Well, today we have identified different projects as nature-based solutions, and now for the last, I want to explain one excellent example that we are working together with one member of PPI-OSCAN that they are here today, that we have identified as nature-based solutions. These are the environmental corridors around Wetini Valley area in Tunisia. This is an example of micro projects of nature-based solutions. Well, we are working for the Mediterranean area, and we have identified these projects, for example, as a best practice of nature-based solution. We were working with the organization, and you have here the different inputs that we have from this project. One key issue is to identify the project, the description of the project, the general purpose and specific objectives of the project. We have worked together with the NGO, with the member to identify different points, and you have here the summary of the project about nature-based solution, where you have the 8 criteria. You have the criteria 1 For example, nature-based solution effectively address societal challenge. The indicator 1, indicator 2, indicator 3, and describe these actions with the indicators and with the criteria. We have worked first with the information that we had from the project. We put in the information, and then we check with the organization about different inputs that they can show us about the project. No, for example, you have here in different colors the inputs that we have received from the organizations, the input that IUCN wrote about the project, and well, and for example, we have identified that during the evaluation, no evidence from different indicator or different criteria. No, that is important to establish a relationship with the organization to identify the key points, the different points that we must add, or the points that we need to clarify with the organizations. That is very important for us, and I think that this webinar, it could be an excellent example to establish this relationship between PPI-OSCAN and IUCN MET, that I know that our colleagues, they are working excellence for the North Africa program, and to establish this relationship with different organizations that you are working on nature-based solution, and to establish this information for us, and of course for different donors or different organizations or different governments, to establish a clear standard of nature-based solutions. At the end, I showed you these two books. You have here the French version, but we have the English version too, about the standards of nature-based solutions and how you can work in this standard, you can work in this indicator, you can work and to develop your project under the framework of nature-based solution. So please use IUCN MET. We are here to help you to establish this standard, to clarify the different points that you are working with your idea of nature-based solutions, and to establish this line of work, the line to work together to identify the best options of nature-based solutions. And you can show to your partners, to your local government, to your national government or international donors that you are working on nature-based solutions, and you can show that you are one of the best examples of the nature-based solution in North Africa. So that is the main ideas that I would like to show to you today. Thank you. Merci. Shukran.
Thank you very much, Andrés. So now the discussions are open. So if you have any question, just ask. In the meanwhile, I want you to share with us the presentation. So each of you, if you have the presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, so I will ask you to send it to me, to include it in the report that I will send you later, next week, probably. So any questions?
Well,
okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
Because thank you very much. It's very, very, very interesting. because, for example, I just learned that there is three things. So nature-based solution, inspired, and I think there is three. The inspired one, the based, and the third one, I think, not natural, but focus on the biomimetism. And it's very important to learn that there is a difference between the three. But the question is, the 8 criteria that you explained to us, are they a cumulative condition to say that the project, for example, or the idea is a nature-based solution? Or, for example, we have to, for example, answer only for half of the 8 criteria, or, for example, 80% of the 8 criteria, or we have systematically have to answer to the 8 criteria at the same time.
Yes, well, thank you. Well, yes, you are right. About the criteria, we have these 8 criteria and the indicators. In this documentation, in these 2 guides, 2 books about nature-based solutions, you have the auto-evaluation of the criteria. I don't know if I can show you. Wait, wait. I will try to show you. No, wait. About the criteria. I think I'm sharing, no, the presentation. I'm trying to show you. Yes. Can you see the screen? Yes. Okay. Well, you have here the criteria for how to use the standard for a project. So you have basically four key outputs for this self-assessment of your project. You have, if of the criteria or the indicator, you have plus of 75%, you have a strong with the nature-based solution idea. If you are between 50 and 75 is adequate, or between 25 or 50 partial, or if you are less than 25 is insufficient and the intervention does not adhere to the global standard. So you have here, I will send you this guide, this book about how to self-assessment of your project, no? And to try to establish these criteria and to add different concepts at the end to establish your project as nature-based solution. So it's very important that your projects are between 50 and 75 or more for the criteria of the nature-based solution, to establish that you are talking about nature-based solution projects.
Okay, thank you very much.
We have a question, Hikma, from Zaccar. If you want to.
And the chats.
Yes.
Okay, so Zaccar, if you want to ask.
So I wrote the question down, but I can say it again. So while these standards are newly developed and it is a great thing to consider using them in the upcoming activities, Yet my question is, what about all the results already gathered and conducted in the past few years? Can this result be adapted to fit these new standards? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That is an excellent question. Yes, we are working and we are identifying in the Mediterranean area, in our center, projects that they were working some years ago with different criteria, and now we can say that they are nature-based solutions. That is an excellent question. So, for example, in the next months, we will write a document with different projects that at the beginning, they are about conservation, they were about restoration, not nature-based solution. But with a small change, we can say that they are nature-based solution projects. So, for example, your excellent project about Beja, about the wetland in Beshkuk, is an excellent example because we are talking about support biodiversity, we are talking about water, good water quality, we are talking about flood regulations, that is another key point, and of course the carbon and coastal area protection. So we are talking about criteria that we can include in on nature-based solutions. So your projects with a small change or a small or to add some criteria, we can say that we are talking about nature-based solution projects. So please, if you are working now with excellent projects that you show today, they are excellent, you can move, you can turning these projects to move to nature-based solution very, very easily. You can work with the criteria of nature-based solution, and in weeks or months, I'm sure that we can say that your project is a nature-based solution project. For example, Zaccar, your project is an excellent example that with few change or few ideas, new ideas, your project is under the framework of nature-based solution.
Okay, thank you, Andres, for the answer. Is there someone else who wants to ask something? For example, from Algeria, because the garden, I think, could help with this concept. If you can, for example.
Yes. Sorry. Yes, sorry. We have here our colleagues of Le Cap de Tunisia. I don't know if they want to say something about the relationship that we had together, about the project, the inputs, and the process. No, I don't know if our
yes.
colleagues.
So, Amira and Edouard, if you want to detail more this relationship and how you built this standard together. Amira?
Yes, I hear you, Hikma. So it's a pleasure to thank Mr. Andres for the presentation and for the example. It's our project, Environmental Corridors Around with Team. So the NGO CAPT is from the beginning, it works in planting trees and in natural based solution. For us to give solution to the degradation, to the environmental issues, you should start from the ecosystem elements like trees, like crops, like protecting animals and birds. So the idea of project is we put it in a humid area with the team, and the idea is to protect this ecosystem which was modified by people and by human beings. So the idea was elaborated together by all the team of CAPT and with collaboration of other NGO like the association, the Tunisian Association for Environment Conservation. And that's all. If Edward want to add something.
And the question was about the exchange we have with the USN Center.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, it's help us to, because every time in the project you have difficulties about selecting indicators and criteria and so on. And the work we make with Andrés and Lourdes help us to make more clearly our indicators, and maybe help us to identify where there is some work to do to do more for be strongly NBS project.
Yeah, so it was a chance to exchange with them, and we was so happy when we received the mail. So we tried to add some information to their presentation, and I think now it's complemented.
Thank you very much. Maybe as a witness, if we want to compare the two Tunisian projects, for example, what maybe is maybe the lack in the Exploralis, in the MEDEX2, the project of Exploralis. For sure, the wetland is a good example for implementing a nature-based solution project, but maybe you can involve more the local community and invite them to adopt activities based on the standards developed by the USN-MED, like, for example, the agroforestry activities like Les Amis de Cap do, to preserve this ecosystem. So, for example, you can work more with agriculture and the local community around with Majorda, and try also to get more information about the know-how, the ancestral know-how in agriculture or other activities that could help you to make your project more near the standard of nature-based solution. I want also hear our Moroccan colleague and Algerian. So if you have any questions, remarks, or if you want to know more about this standard, and maybe how to adopt them in your project or in your future project. So Mrs. Fatma, if you want to give us an example about your garden. I don't know if she hear me. Mrs. Fatma, do you hear us? Mrs. Fatma AMMAR, or I don't know. Okay, so if Mr. Rawik Saleh or Mr. Imad Sharkawi, do you want to share something with us, or maybe you have any question to learn about, to learn more about this concept? I don't know.
Yeah,
okay.
We can't see them. And Miss Rania also from Libya, if you have any question, even in Arabic, بالعربية ممكن.
لا مفيش أي سؤال، شكرا لكم.
شكرا لك.
عايشة.
هي هذه دعوة لكل الجمعية أنهم تعرفتوا على المجال شنو هو وشنو كيفاش تتصلوا بينا وتصلوا الناس اللي كيتكلفوا بهذا الشيء في الاي او سي. وان شاء الله غادي نبعثوا لكم البرزنتيشن كاملين وجميع المراجع اللي تحدث عليها اندريس، غادي نبعثوها لكم بالفرنسيه وبالعربيه باش تاخذوا الوقت ديالكم. يمكن ان بزاف د المعلومات جاتكم في نفس الوقت، ممكن ان تاخذوا الوقت ديالكم تقراو عليها وتفهموها، ولا كانت عندكم اتصلوا بينا من بعد ان شاء الله. حكمه غادي تبعث لنا الايميلز ديال الناس كلهم والبرزنتيشنز.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if you have something. Just a question, Andrés, maybe. I don't know if you have time, Huda. We have time. Okay.
We still have 15 minutes.
Okay, so Andrés, I just want to know if this standard could be adopted in the legal aspect of the international environmental law.
Thank you for your question. It's another excellent question, because at the end, when we are talking about nature-based solutions, well, we need a legal framework to establish our project in this legal framework. Well, the good news is, for example, that European Union, they have this legal framework, because now they have a program about biodiversity and environment for the next 10 years, 2020-2030, where the nature-based solution appear as a legal framework and appear with one of the priorities for the European Union. The good news for the North Africa countries is that many of these projects, we can work together between the European Union and North Africa. So we have the legal framework of the European Union, for example, for the new program, it's called the Green New Deal, and we are waiting the new calls from the Interreg and MEDA. Then we hope that the nature-based solutions will be one of the priority for this common area in the Mediterranean, north and south of the Mediterranean, for nature-based solutions. So the answer is the European Union has a legal framework under the new funds from environment where the nature-based solution appear. That is the first good news. The second good news is that some of these projects from the program, we can work together from the north and south of the Mediterranean. So the NGOs from PPI-OSCAN, the NGOs from North Africa, can work on nature-based solution, but under this legal framework of the European Union. And the second good news is that different countries in the Mediterranean, they are talking to establish a legal framework at the local or national level. So it's important that in the next years, the nature-based solution appear in the legal framework of the national governments. So that is, for example, now we know that there are discussion between different countries about nature-based solution and climate change. Well, I hope that one of the key points for the next years for nature-based solution and legal framework is nature-based solution and climate change.
Okay, thank you very much. It's in fact very important and very interesting to know it, even for the NGO to know how and in which topic they will develop the next project in the future. So thank you very much. I don't know if there is someone who want to add something, Mr. Sharkawi or Mr. Ahmed or Mr. Awisa Salaq. كان عندكم أسئلة يمكن طرحها؟
حكمة ما عندي أسئلة، لا يوجد أسئلة.
أوكي، شكرا. Okay, so I think we arrive at the end of this very interesting webinar. I hope that this is not the last one, and there will be more in the next months. Thank you all for your participation. Thank you, Hude. Thank you, Andrés. I would thank all the participants. Just before leaving, I want you to turn on all your video to have a photo.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why, but I can't take a photo from my laptop, so
I will.
maybe...
I will. Yeah,
Okay,
I will
thank
take
you
it.
very much.
So be ready.
Yes, Edouard and Amira, please, if you can turn on your video, please.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
It's done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and bye-bye. See you. Cheers and
It was a pleasure to have you all really today, and thank you for your time, for your efforts, all of you, for the language, and I know that it's not easy for all of us, but it's a good exercise to be able to discuss in different languages. It's part of the capacity building. And I was really pleased to hear all of you, and I really thank Andrés for your availability, your time. And this is an invitation for all of you. That was just the beginning. We expressed what is the standard, but now we can build up on this and start the exchange with our colleagues from the nature-based solution. So I invite you all to send us your questions, whatever you need, so we can really go ahead and make the best of this new standard. Thank you all. Shukran jazilan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
مع السلامة رانيا.
مع السلامة.